Hello, I'm Daniel. You might know me better as Audio Mocha. I'm going to show you how to set up your DMX lights in QLC Plus 5. So, the ultimate goal of this tutorial series, which I'm going to be breaking up into a set of smaller tutorials, is to be able to control your DMX lights and have them respond to your audio plugins that might be triggered by MIDI or that have some sort of MIDI output. For my example, I'm going to have them being triggered by my drums plugin so that my lights are able to respond to my drums. I've gotten a lot of questions on how to do this, and it's been hard to find tutorials for this, so I figured I might as well make a tutorial series myself for QLC Plus 5, which seems to be a pretty new software since most everyone is used to QLC Plus 4, which honestly looks a lot more confusing. Now, first, what we're going to start off is we're going to start to configure the starting addresses of your lights. This step is incredibly important because one thing about DMX is that it does not know anything about the lights that you have set up along with it. It just sends a message out, and it's up to us to set up our lights to make sure that they're reading the right lines of that message. So, in order to mess with your lights, you're going to require some set of hardware, and it's a lot cheaper than you think. So, first of all, you're going to need a USB DMX cable. That's what I ended up using. I bought mine for a few bucks on Amazon. You're going to need a DMX cable to connect between your lights. There might be some opinions about this. It is just an XLR cable. Don't waste your money like I did. I ended up buying DMX cables, and they ended up just being just like the XLR cables that I already have. And the last thing that you'll need is DMX-compatible lights. We're going to take the starting addresses for our lights, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over here. In my case, here I have displayed A001. That's the starting address for this light. And I'm able to change that. Here I have it in A512. After all, DMX has 512 channels available for you to use. I'm going to leave this light as A01, as starting address 1. This light over here, I have it starting on address 7. That second light set up to address 7 is because when I got these lights, one thing that I had to take into account is how many channels my lights have. My specific lights have 6 channels. So the way that mine are set up are, the first channel is the dimmer channel, second channel is the red channel, third channel is the green channel, fourth channel is the blue channel, and then we have 2 extra channels that I'm not going to use. They're for controlling the functionality of strobes and other functions that the lights have. Frankly, it's not really that useful for me, so I'm going to stick to the first 4 channels. But because those 2 extra channels exist on the light, I have to make sure that the addresses don't overlap. So if I were to have starting address 1 on that first light, and then starting address 4 on the second light, we will have an overlap of 2 channels, which would end up with some unpredictable results. So make sure that you have your starting addresses right. So we're going to go ahead and move into QLC 5. When you open QLC Plus 5, you want to go to the Input-Output tab, and then make sure that on Universe 1, you have your DMX-USB adapter set up here on the right. So how can you do that? Here, I'm going to go ahead and click on this universe. For now, we only really care about highlighting the line. We don't care about any input into the universe. We just care about outputting to the universe. And here, we're going to click on the universe output sources. In the output, you can see my DMX USB device. I am going to go ahead and drag that to the right side of this universe. We only care about outputting to the universe at this very moment. So we have that all set up. Next up. Alright, this is one of the things that I am not a big fan of here in QLC is, unless I'm missing something, it's kind of hard to delete a fixture. No, I'm just going to go ahead and make a new project. Alright, so now we will return to the Fixtures and Functions tab after setting up our outputs, and we're going to click Add New Fixture. So here we have this list of various manufacturer presets. If you have a light that matches this, you could use their settings. I'm going to go ahead and use generic, and I'm going to use generic RGB. So now I'm going to set the name to my wash lights. I'm going to keep it in Universe 1. My wash lights start off at address 1, and I have 2 lights. I'm going to go ahead and get a gap of 2. The reason being I'm adding that gap of 2 is because I only care about 4 channels for each of my lights, but then there's the extra 2 channels that I'm not going to be using. So I'm going to care about those first 4 channels. These 2 channels are going to be the gap, and then it's going to start out, and then the addresses for the next light will begin. And then I'm going to set the mode over to dimmer RGB, since my lights channels, each light's first channel is intensity, which is the dimmer, red, green, then blue. Now that I have these lights, I'm going to go ahead and drag them on to the universe view. So I have wash light 1, wash light 2. We're going to head over to the simple desk to perform it, to test whether this is working out. And now I'm going to switch my view over to look at my lights. And if I have everything right here, I'm setting the intensity of my left light to maximum. No other lights are on yet. And let's see if that left light is indeed turning red. All right, that one's looking good. Now I'm going to set the intensity maximum on the right light, and I'm going to set that to blue, and that's looking good as well. So that's already taken care of. Now I want to show why specifically we want to make sure that we have our starting addresses correct. It's going to be very important here. Open a new project because I can never figure out. And I've got generic RGB yet again, but this time I will not set a gap. I'm going to have two lights, both dim RGB, and I'm going to throw them right here. Okay, so we're going to see here that the left light is going to work just as we expect. Switching over to our view, we can see that the left light's working just fine, but this one over here that's been set up as the dimmer channel, when I switch it, notice how that first light's gone into a strobe. I'm going to switch the green channel here all the way up, and it's looking kind of weird. We notice that the second light ends up turning on with a red hue. Now, this is why I wanted to show you this, is because since the starting address ends up starting at address 5 rather than address 6 as it should, we have an address overlap. The message that we think we're sending to the second light is actually being interpreted by the first light, and in this case it's using the strobe channel of that first light. There lies the importance of making sure why you always have the right starting address. Otherwise you're always going to get you're going to get unexpected results when you have multiple lights to work with. We're going to go ahead and call it for now. We're going to continue with the next tutorial on how to get your lights to flash to MIDI notes for anything like drums, synths. But for now, we'll go ahead and we'll catch you next time. I'm Daniel Flores, Audio Mocha, and I hope thank you for watching.